Hello, friends. Welcome to yet another episode of Tea Talk with me, Owen Fernandez. I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever in the world you are. Today is Thursday, the last day, the 30th of September 2021. And we just have 3 more months before this year is gone forever. So, keeping this in mind, that time flies and we all have a limited amount of time to live on this earth. Our topic for today is how not to do it all. Now, friends, hold on. Some may think that I'm contradicting myself out here by choosing this particular title for episode number 44. Now, it's true, while I promote working hard and chasing your dreams, your aspirations, as a life coach, I always help people achieve what they want to do in life. But I also believe in working smart as much as in working hard. And this topic is all about the latter. It's all about managing time effectively, managing energies effectively, and making your life count. Now, I believe when people say time is money, it's not true literally. I believe it's a fallacy. You can make more money, but my question to you is, can you make more time? No, you cannot make more time. You can only make more time or have more time for yourself by choosing how well to use it. Friends, we all want to accomplish as much as possible. It's a given fact. Now, in this process, some of us push ourselves so much that we fail to take into consideration how it affects our mental and physical health. I've seen it in certain phases of my life as well, but that too, it was years ago when my level of awareness was much below than what I consider itself to be now. Also, friends, add to the fact that we also live in a world where people appreciate competition. Yes, in sports, in any other field, people love competition. And they also respect you only if you are a part of that rat race. So, my question is, does it count in the holistic picture of life? Now, I also know many of you who want to do so much. They say yes to every request of friend, family, or colleague. They involve themselves or rather drown themselves in learning so many new skills just to keep up with the competition. They have massive plans to travel all over the world, read every book, watch every movie on Netflix. In fact, I know people whose to-do list, daily to-do list is never ending. And add to the fact that they also have a bucket list and so many other plans. Now, I'm not against it. While that is okay, one needs to know, is it actually feasible? Do we have the capability, the capacity, the bandwidth to do everything and accomplish everything? My answer to this is an absolutely no. This is because we do not have time. We have been given 24 hours, and it's the same for everybody on this planet Earth. Some of us, we do not even have the attention bandwidth to devote a particular time to something that we need to get it done and forget about doing everything. So friends, if you are on the call, this episode I will try to share with you 7 tips how not to do it all. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, take a comfortable seat, relax as we go deeper into this topic. We are on episode 44, the last day of the ninth month of the year 2021. Please let us know in the chat, or in fact, let me know in the chat box where you are watching from. And I would be happy if you can interact with me while I'm doing this live streaming. So I see a friend of mine, Adnan from Oman. He says, "Good evening. It's good afternoon out here." Anyway, welcome, Adnan. So, friends, let's get started. Let's get started. So, as usual, I always like to start a particular episode with a quote, and this time it is from Zoe Kim, the author of Minimalism for Families. She says, "We sometimes do so much that we end up losing ourselves." I repeat the first part of this particular quote. We sometimes do so much that we end up losing ourselves. We sell out our purpose, our peace, our joy for the idea that we should be doing it all, and that too perfectly without even breaking a sweat. Now, I do understand there are many people who are well disciplined, but try to understand that we have got a limited amount of time and we need to use our mental faculty, the power of our mind in order to choose wisely. And whenever there is a question of choice, friends, you have to understand that the choices we make are clearly reflected in the results we get. The best way to feel accomplished is not by doing it all. Instead, simplify things and celebrate small wins. Yesterday, I was in a coaching call with my coachee in the US, and he mentioned about how overwhelmed he feels with so many things to do. He's a husband, he's got 4 kids, he's an entrepreneur, he has got multiple business activities. He needs to travel. There is some sort of a challenge traveling as well to the places that he wants to do some investment and so on and so forth. So while we were discussing, and coaching is basically asking solid questions, I asked him, do you need to do all of it yourself? So finally we came to the conclusion that do it yourself, things that only you can do, delegate things that somebody else can do it on your behalf. In fact, you will be surprised that somebody else can do it much better than you. Nevertheless, if you are not required there, your physical presence is not required there, try to delegate. And if you can't do it yourself and you don't find somebody else to delegate, at least dump it. What I mean by dumping is hold it for some other day when you feel that that becomes a priority in your life. I wish the same for you, friends. We all have got 24 hours. We all have got 86,400 seconds a day. Make your life count. Choose wisely. Check when are you most productive. Make a note of your energy levels. You don't have to do it all. And even life can challenge you. Yes, I do understand. I'm a father, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a human being, I'm a man, I'm a husband. I do understand that there are various roles to play, and life continuously challenges us. But nevertheless, the choice is completely ours. So let's get deeper into what could be the possible tips for us how not to do it at all. Now, the first one might be surprising. In fact, it is a trend, and many people just fall victim to it. I believe we must avoid multitasking. I see Winnie Benjamin. Good morning, Winnie Benjamin. Nice to see you. I would suggest avoid multitasking. Stop trying to do it all at once. In many ways, friends, multitasking seems like a good idea. It's quite tempting. and sometimes it's quite seductive too. I know people love it, and by working on more than one task at a time, multitaskers appear theoretically more productive. But that's not the truth. Even though multitaskers might seem better at their jobs, I repeat, several studies indicate that multitasking actually hurts productivity. It is counterproductive. This is simply because our brains are not designed to focus effectively on more than one task at a time. This is scientifically proven by research that our brains are not designed to focus effectively more than one task at a time. So it's better not to be a jack of all trades. Try to master one task. Now, according to Salena Sma of the Stephen M. Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan, she says multitasking is often a matter of perception or can even be a thought, something like an illusion. She further goes on to prove it. She says evidence also suggests that humans are actually incapable of paying attention to multiple tasks at the same time. We may think, she says, that we are multitasking, but we are actually switching back and forth between tasks and might compromise on the quality at hand. Think about it. While you are trying to do many things at the same time, actually ask yourself, are you doing it well? What if there is a price on the quality? What if there is a value that is assigned to your work based on how good it is to the person assigning that to you? Friends, moreover, multitasking hinders our ability to learn and interpret information effectively. Now, I know psychometrics quite well. I've been in this business for 14 years. There is one kind of personality called the sensor personality. They're very high achievers and they tend to multitask and they love multitasking. Now, while the results are there to see, I don't think so they mastered everything up. And that is the only aspect of our personality which is short term. So, if you want to build a brand, if you want to build a name, if you want to build a reputation, if you want to give value to the things that you do, focus on one thing at a time and get it done well. So, the first step, how not to do it at all, is avoid multitasking. I see a good friend of mine, Pratik, on the line. Welcome, Pratik. I see Peter Bordage also showing up. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being my supporters. The second tip that I would like to share is pay attention to what you are doing. It's an offshoot of the first one. It means to say, while you are doing certain things, focus well. Friends, it is necessary to be mindful of the things that we do. Now, I have seen in eating places, in restaurants, and even in food courts, in the malls, people are having their meals while talking on the phone. And some are even checking their emails while having a bite. Now, where are we heading to? Everything has its place, friends, and we must make sure to know when to unwind or detach ourselves from the influence of technology and focus on the tasks that we are doing. Let's learn to enjoy food while eating, enjoy movies, enjoy the movie while watching, enjoy the drive while driving. Now, some may say, okay, technology has given us an option, a hands-free ability to talk while drive. Now, I've been driving for years. Even with hands-free, we tend to take our minds away from focusing on the road instead of trying to enjoy driving. We rather try to make sense of the conversation, whoever is on the other line. And believe me, it's dangerous too. So let's learn to be in the now, to be in the present in whatever we are doing. Right now, for me, nothing is more important. rather than doing this live broadcast, which I have committed myself to do every Tuesday and every Thursday. Now, I understand in the case of emergency, if there is a call from my wife or there is something happening to my family that I need to attend to, I'll gracefully ask you to allow me to do that because I have a reason to do that. And I believe most of you on the call would be glad if I take your permission and leave to attend an urgency. So, when we are focusing on one task and we are doing justice to it, believe me, we can enjoy every moment and make every moment count. So, friends, try your best to limit yourselves from any distractions. And mostly in a time that we live, the news, the social media, people popping up and speaking all sorts of things that may not necessarily relate to you. In fact, they might even bring down your productivity. Put your phone down, put your phone in your desk while you are eating, while you're watching, while you're driving, and take away every distraction and keep yourself from any notification. Just allow only urgent matters that require your attention to get your true attention. Winnie says, we miss the beauty of the here and now when we fail to be mindful. So very true. Thank you, Winnie. She says that it has been said that multitasking causes confusion of the neural pathways in the brain that may lead to dementia. So very true. So let's have a look at the third tip that I would like to share. And that is choose your task wisely among options. Friends, this is something called a minimalistic approach. It is okay to de-own a few tasks and concentrate on the most important ones. The choice lies solely with us. Nobody has compelled me or put a gun on my forehead saying that I have to do these things. It is my choice to serve all those that need this. So, while choosing the task, it's important for us to figure out which one is necessary and which one are junk. Now, let me make a point out here. If you believe that all things are urgent and all things are important, something is wrong with you. Seek a therapist. All things cannot be urgent and all things cannot be important. Try to avoid cluttering your brain by solely focusing on one task at a time. So, if you're working on a larger project, you can break it down into smaller tasks to ensure you're spending time on other duties as well. Make sure to complete the entire small task for that particular project before moving on to the other. In that way, you can even see your progress and get self motivated. Now, as opposed to multitasking, I believe single tasking is far more productive and healthier for your brain, just as Winnie mentioned here. Why? Because you don't have to endure the mental stress caused by perpetually stopping and starting tasks. As I said, multitasking is moving from one task to the other and trying to juggle many balls at the same time. So if you're at work, prioritize your schedule. And if you're at home, outside work, schedule your priorities, which means to say, give preference to your loved ones, give preference to your relatives, your friends, your children, your wife. Give preferences to self-care. That is so very important in the world today. We're living in a busy world, and almost all of us, even though we will not be busy, we get ourselves involved and entangled, and we get caught up by the business of life. So choose task wisely among options. So tip number 4 that I would like to share, friends, is it is okay to say no at times. Trust me, we live in a world where we try to please everyone and we have forgotten the art of saying no to others' request. And when I say no, Please use primary decencies of at least being polite and say it in a way that does not appear to be arrogant, rebellious, or downright hurtful and disrespectful. I'm sure people understand that we all have tasks, we all have challenges on a daily basis, and it is okay to say no rather than get overwhelmed, stressed, and not do justice to the job. Winnie says again, create a time matrix plan for yourself. Yes, planning is important. So, as I said, we live in a world where we try to please everyone and we have forgotten the art of saying no. But our well being needs to be given some importance too. And at sometimes, if people still start pressurizing you and still start manipulating you, just simply be ruthless to say no and filter out the tasks that are taking a toll of your mental and physical well being. Friends, as I said before, you are important. The life that you live also has got a meaning and a purpose. You are in an assignment. While we are talking about the destination, let's enjoy the journey. It's okay to say no at times. While while I had a problem with this, especially when it came from people that I knew, the friends that I knew, the relatives that I knew, our families that we know each other, I I I learned the art of saying no at times, and that politely. And by the end of the day, people understood, people could relate that I am limited in my physical being and I can only do certain things at certain times. So, friends, tip number four is it is okay to say no at times. Number five, have a sense of satisfaction. Now, what do I mean by that? We always want to learn more, to do more, to experience more. So sometimes there is no level of stopping our desires. Many of us are never satisfied with the little that we do or with the certain things that we experience. Instead, we keep on complaining that we could do more and more, and that cycle doesn't seem to end at all. Instead, friends, we need to be grateful for the experience and the things that we have rather than expecting, the greener grass that someone else is expecting or someone else is experiencing. Now, having a sense of satisfaction also can be interpreted in a way in the sense be content, be grateful, check your desires. It could be basically greed, it could be lust, wanting more and more of something. It could even be binge eating. I have seen people, just gulp a huge plate of food. Do we need that? Do we actually need to stuff ourselves with so much of food, so much of sweets? No, our body doesn't require that. Have a sense of satisfaction. Winnie says saying no gives you a feeling of freedom and stress and preventing being overwhelmed. In fact, it is a part of protecting yourself. It is a part of self-care. Now, while it is easier said than done, I would challenge you to be authentic and say no if you actually feel the need that you cannot handle it. And I'm sure, friends, people will understand you if they actually respect you. Tip number six is embrace the imperfections. I've said it in my previous episodes that we as human beings are perfectly made imperfect. So there is nothing called perfection, it is a concept, it is something that we will never reach. Even when you're talking about kaizen, when you're talking about the Japanese philosophy of continuous improvement, we're talking about Six Sigma techniques. Even Six Sigma is 99.997. It's not 100%. So, friends, what am I trying to tell you is that learn to embrace imperfection, but always put your best foot forward, which is called a spirit of excellence. So, even after we filter and minimize the task, our life will never be perfect. And it is up to us, again, a choice to accept the imperfections and move on. Now, that's the spirit of never giving up. I remember the first few episodes, I was nervous, but now I look forward to Tuesdays and Thursdays. And in our night prayers, my children says, God, please help my dad, in his live stream, see that everything is okay. We're all excited. Why? Because I'm in the process of learning as I pick up topics after topics. And I know that I'm not perfect. But I also know that I'm putting my best given the circumstances. Friends, I have this to say. We live in a messy world where our experience will never fit an ideal, and it will be imperfect. Or for that matter, you will always have critics speaking into you. So you need to know what is constructive feedback and what is the critical feedback. And you also need to know who are those people, which are those voices that you need to feed in order to get better, and which are the voices which I call noise you need to shut off on your journey towards your destination. Embrace imperfection. And the last tip I would like to share today is remember that we cannot control everything. Friends, most often our days go not as planned. Trust me. While it is a good thing to plan, while it is a good thing to follow schedules, sometimes life just gets in the way. It just happened to me this morning. At around 8 o'clock in the morning, I had a pain in my right shoulder, and the pain was so excruciating that I took a pill just to stop the pain. But on second thoughts, I said, this has not happened to me before. I need to go to the doctor. So I gave a call to my neurologist, and she says, oh, when come over, I have a window of time, I will see. And basically I got myself poked two injections, and she says, we'll wait for a couple of days, maybe there is a little calcification on your shoulder, or simply you are in front of the computer a long time, putting a lot of stress on your hands, on your forearms. I didn't plan for this to happen. It just came in the way. What do? I need to know that my health is important if I have to show up. My health is important for my family. And my right hand is the hand that I work, I drive, I carry, I do stuff. So it was important and it was urgent. So I gave preference to that. So what happens? I lost an hour and a half. Sometimes life gets into the way. Though we try to follow a routine, some things come up unexpectedly and are not planned. Of course, it does cause frustration and we feel down, but it is advised that accepting things as they come make us happy and feel fulfilled. Winnie says, contentment is a necessary discipline. One should practice and experience its great benefit. Even it's spiritual. When you're talking about contentment, you're talking also about a spirit of gratitude, giving thanks to what you have rather than be in a continuous state of unfulfillment, anticipating something in the future and ignoring the present. So, summarizing, avoid multitasking, pay attention to what you're doing, choose tasks wisely among options. It is okay to say no at times. Have a sense of satisfaction, be content. Embrace imperfections. We are all imperfect, you, me, and everybody else. Remember, we cannot control everything, and life will throw something on our paths. So, I would like to end this episode, friends, with a quote from Oswald Chambers. And this is quite interesting. He says, the whole point of getting things done is knowing what to leave undone. I repeat, the whole point of getting things done is knowing what to leave undone. So he's talking about priorities. He talks about preferences, and he also talks about the ability for us to make choices which is in direct proportion to the results that we get. Friends, there can be moments at work or in life where you are going to be challenged, or you might have several assignments to complete at once, or for that matter, you might have tight deadlines. And if you are a mother, if you are a woman having children, you may play many roles at home all at the same time. Now, I'm sure this could be something that could overwhelm you. So, when this occurs, you should take time to organize your tasks or maybe ask help when needed. You need to find ways to keep yourself calm in order to be productive and in control at work, that allows you to feel organized and do justice to the task, to the projects at hand. You also need to understand when you are most productive. I'm a morning person, so I'm most productive early in the mornings. Why? Because there are usually moments throughout the day where people are more motivated and energized to complete tasks. Find your space where you are most productive, where you're most energetic. Now, for my wife, she likes to do talk. She likes to do work in the evenings, late in the evenings. So learn, try to understand that this is different for different people. Identify the times where you feel more productive throughout the day. Schedule your most important or challenging task for that particular time. This way, you'll complete this task when you feel most motivated rather than pushing it back to a time where you are less productive. And also remember one thing: do what you can do, what you only can do. Delegate things that somebody else can do it on your behalf, or simply dump it and keep it for another day. Friends, yes, it's okay to say no and learn to say it politely. So, thanks for watching. You will find the references of what has been shared today at the end of this talk. Feel free to use them further for your personal growth. Friends, if you liked this episode, please comment and share. Also, you could go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it. This episode, in a few minutes from now, will be uploaded on my YouTube channel. Pick up whatever topic that suits you at the point where you find yourself in life. There you will find this video as well as many other videos. Again, remember, the win is always within you. The choices you make are the hinges of your destiny. I, Owen Fernandez, am here to help you be victorious. I believe in you, and together we can. So stay safe. See you on the next episode of Tea Time with Owen. Have a great weekend and start the new month strong and finish this year well. Again, bye for now.